What's up, you guys? Ross Sapp here for the Wrestling Inc. podcast, June 15th edition. Let me get my face in this shot a little bit better.
Yes,
I am joined by Rob McCarron, and we had issues with Google Hangouts on Monday. And tonight, about 50 minutes before we went live, a power line was down outside my house. I drove 30 minutes, got the show started. Hopefully the connection holds up.
Yes, hopefully. I'm hoping. It's always better when connections hold, especially when you do an internet broadcast, that the internet works. So that's a good thing. I am Robert McCarron. You can find me at Shake Them Ropes. A lot to talk about tonight, Sean.
Indeed, this will be somewhat an abbreviated show, not like heavily abbreviated, but somewhat abbreviated. We're going to talk NXT. We're going to talk about TNA Slammiversary shortly. I covered that Sunday night. Go back and check that out, guys. But also some of their technical errors and some of their decisions with these television tapings. And, you know, they got a little bit of a new owner. Rob, what were your thoughts when you heard that Billy Corgan is possibly the minority owner of TNA?
Well, my first thought was, okay, they're in financial trouble, and they begged him to put some money into it.
Keep in mind, this is a guy who turned down buying part of ECW.
Turned down buying a part of ECW, but also I have to feel like if he was banging on Dixie Carter's door asking to buy a part of this company before, if he was actually wanting to put money into TNA himself, they would have let him before.
Yes.
So obviously he didn't want to do that, or at least I don't believe he wanted to do that. And I really think it took some begging. And he was like, all right, I'll put some money in, but you got to put me on screen on TV. I got to be on TV now. I'm going to be a big time player or whatever the case may be. But that's kind of sad in itself that you had to last minute scramble for money and you found it in one of your TV writers to give you money just to make it on the air. And yeah, that's it. It's a story. It's something. Now Billy Corgan's got some skin in the game, right? So maybe some things will change just because Billy doesn't want to be out the money he put in.
Also, I mean, you're bailing out somebody who is a mark for putting themselves on TV with someone who looks like they are a mark for putting themselves on TV.
Yep, that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. And Sean, TNA. It didn't help that they put on a pretty good pay-per-view in Slammiversary. They put on a good show. The wrestlers did their job. And at no point in the last 2 years have we been talking about how the wrestlers don't do their jobs. The best part of TNA is the on-screen product in the ring. That's the best part of TNA, and it continues to be. What some have laughed about and what others have criticized heavily over the last 2 years is the management of the company. And here you are going into your June pay-per-view, the biggest pay-per-view you have, or at least the most meaningful probably to TNA. And you are scrambling last minute to even get the show on the air. And your big solution is, hey, Billy Corgan, can you get out of the writer's room, get on TV, and give us some money, please? It's just the management of the company is what doesn't allow it to grow. It's not the wrestling in the ring. It's the management. They don't. You look at EC3, a guy who's on Twitter on a Tuesday night, trying to play PR for TNA and Pop TV. And, doing the best job he can, I suppose. This is a guy who's invested in it. He's emotionally invested in it. He wants it to succeed. And the people who are behind the scenes making the actual decisions aren't doing what's right by EC3 or what's right by Mike Bennett or what's right by everyone else that's in that company. It's sad to watch the behind the scenes stuff. It's embarrassing.
It is, and I hate that for them because the last hour and a half of that pay-per-view on Sunday was really good. I thought that Matt and Jeff delivered. I thought EC3 and Mike Bennett had some great promo work. I thought Lashley and Galloway was good. There was a lot of good stuff on that show, and we saw, last night they had the technical difficulties that were at no fault of their own. Pop TV had some issues, major issues, and I hated it. It made them the butt of a joke again. I mean, and I was in on it too. I even told a wrestler, I said, for what it's worth, I think you could kick Red Foreman's ass because we had the nonstop That 70s Show commercial. And it's unfortunate that that's the most that we've heard people talk about a live Impact recently because the shows have been good. There have been good shows, but management has rendered them inconsequential. Not the talent, the management has rendered them inconsequential. And the management is a big problem. And it continues to be a big problem because at the tapings, Dixie Carter's putting herself on TV more. But she's doing a storyline where she's taking off TV. She can't just leave TV.
Right.
She has to put herself in a storyline where she leaves TV for a week.
Well, there's also a video going around that I'll mention. I don't know the citation. I don't know where it's from, so I'm sorry I can't cite it and tell you guys where to find it. But there's a video going around of Al Snow, a recent interview he did. And this is a guy who's an agent and involved with TNA wrestling. May have an ownership stake of his own here coming up soon. But Al Snow's going around talking about how he hates wrestling fans now. Like he
has for years has been saying it for a long time.
Yeah,
about how dumb the smarter fans are.
And it's more than even dumb, but now he's actively like out there talking about how he doesn't respect their wishes. Well, you know, Vince McMahon at least says the right things. He may not always, you know, listen and comprehend what the fans are telling him, but at least he's listening. And he'll talk about how he listens to the fans, and everything that goes on screen is based on what he thinks the fans want and what he's gathering from the house shows and live events and TV and whatnot. Al Snow's talking about how he actively hates the fans. I'm gonna give you and put on TV what I want, no matter what you do in reaction to it. I'm gonna put things on television to spite you, and then you wonder why you get bad reactions from it. It's unbelievable. Can we talk about how you appear to be in like a laundry room of some kind, or what's going on there?
It is an apartment. I don't know what you would call this. It's a room, but I don't know what kind of room it is. But yeah,
it looks like you have the washer and dryer right next to you, and you can walk outside right there in the door. I'm wondering what's happening. You're not in your usual room. You're moving about. You're a man of the people, and by people I mean your carpet.
Because a power line went down.
Oh, that's right, yes.
And I had to drive 30 minutes to someone's house in order to do this show.
Okay, can we also talk about how you actually told me that story before we went on air and I completely already forgot it?
And then I told you once again when we were on air.
Oh, that's right.
And
how
then
long have we been doing
now?
Is this show almost over? Is this episode? Can I go to bed now? What's happening? What is happening with me? I legitimately remember you telling that, and I forgot exactly what you said, and I'm just now paying attention. This is
yes.
Let's be real.
Unfortunately,
here too. It's crazy when Sean talks about an abbreviated show, and here I am talking over you again. Before we get on the air, Sean says, "Rob, you got to shorten up your answers. You're long-winded. You go on too long. Cut it out. Me and Raj want to talk. Why won't you let us talk, Rob?" And then I completely ignored what he was saying. I apologize.
That conversation never happened.
That's true. It didn't.
But anyway, yes, unfortunately, my cousin does not have an office for me at his house. So, you know.
You do. You make the best you can of it. You do the best you can.
Well, I want to talk more about this Al Snow thing.
Yeah, Al Snow.
Al Snow, he's a smart guy. He really is. But some of his he's developing into the new Cornette, in my opinion. Talking about how there used to be some semblance of kayfabe and respect. Shit's changed, Al. You used to corner Dan the Beast Severn in UFC, which is one of the reasons why kayfabe doesn't exist anymore. People know the best fighters aren't in pro wrestling now. It's no longer, even in the early days of UFC, you could kind of get away with it because, quite honestly, many pro wrestlers could have kicked the living shit out of some early UFC guys. Not anymore. There's maybe one or two that could beat some low level guys. It's not the same. Technology has advanced.
Yeah. So you watched this video I'm referencing, like the specific one that was going on.
I've watched several of them. It's from Hannibal TV. Hannibal is a wrestler on the independent circuit. He does a lot of interviews with talents. And Al Snow, and all due respect to Al Snow, he was my first interview ever. Al Snow was. He was incredibly kind to me. I respect him, but when he says things like that about people, this minority are who still pays for TNA. And he sounds like the old man sitting on his porch when a highway was built, screaming at the road, saying, "Idiots," whenever a car drives by. That's
exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is. But yeah, Al Snow, man. He's one of the faces.
Snowman.
And this is the problem. This is one of the problems. This is an issue you have when Al Snow is out there as one of the faces of TNA.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you should be building bad will with the fans.
No, I don't
think good.
So.
So a little spoiler here. If you haven't read the spoilers,
I love spoilers. I love them.
Mike Bennett won the X Division title.
But can you give the second spoiler?
Go ahead.
Eddie Edwards won the X Division title.
Did he win it back?
He won it back.
Good.
So Mike Bennett won the X Division title and lost it before he'll actually win it on television.
Wow.
That's how they do things in TNA.
Well, at least didn't they have a negative title reign recently as well?
They had a negative title reign because they changed the title before was it before Slammiversary last year? Was this already a year ago?
I think it was before Bound for Glory because they went to Japan.
Yeah, it might have been Bound for Glory. They changed it. That's right, because they were wondering how the Japanese magazines and fans would react to it. It was the Wolves, right? It was the Wolves with the tag team titles.
I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up.
I'm pretty sure it was the Wolves with the tag team titles. I can't remember if they won them or lost them, but yes, they.
Another case of TNA management dropping the ball.
Yeah, they won or lost the tag team titles before they were defending them on the pay-per-view. It was a whole bunch of craziness, and there was the issue because, yeah, the Japanese fans, they read their magazines, they know what's happening in the States, and they wouldn't react well to someone coming out with belts that they know they already lost, even though it's all a television product. You know, I think if WWE did that, I think fans would kind of be negative on it.
Yeah.
If you know, they're usually smart about it too. Like if someone loses a belt on the TV, they're probably not. Say if someone lost the belt on NXT TV, they're not coming out on the house shows with those titles. They're usually pretty smart about it. I think when Blake and Murphy won the tag team titles on television, I don't believe they did house shows with the tag team belts, but I could be wrong. They're usually pretty good about it, but it's all a television product. It's you lose it on TV. The TV show hasn't aired yet. Do whatever you want.
And TNA has some good hands. Obviously, Jeff Hardy, for whatever he is, he's there. Drew Galloway. Bobby Lashley's doing the best work of his career, in my opinion.
That Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, that match, Drew McIntyre's motivation. This is obviously the best Drew McIntyre we've ever actually gotten to see. He may have been this good in WWE, but we didn't get to see it.
Yeah.
It's
in that WLC match.
I'm thinking we're gonna get a brand extension. That's right, the WLC was great. Yes. We're gonna get this brand extension. And I don't know how long Drew McIntyre is locked up. I believe they signed him to 3 concurrent contracts like 6 months ago and announced all 3 of them. I don't know how long he's going to be there, but this is a guy to me, if you want to fill talent and you want to have some familiar face, Drew McIntyre is guy number 1. I would put Ethan Carter at guy number 2, but Drew McIntyre is guy number 1 that you have to sign back. Like he needs to come back because he would have a place, and I think he could do quite well.
I don't think
WWE nowadays.
I don't think TNA is safe from them taking almost anybody. WWE would probably take Eli Drake right now just based on his delivery. If they have Tino Sabatelli, they're probably interested in Jesse Goddard, who is like, you put those two in a tag team, former NFL guy, former Big Brother guy. They are clones of one another, only Goddard has a little more experience. Guys like that they can refine in their performance center and put on NXT TV. And while Jesse Goddard isn't the best guy in the ring, you can say, well, that's passable. He's a developmental talent.
And that's the difference, I think. I think if you're going to sign guys from TNA, WWE is probably looking at the guys that are familiar to the audience. So someone who has a little bit of a name. I don't know if they would take the Eli Drakes. They wouldn't take the Bram because of his domestic past.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't
Otherwise,
know
I think they would. If he didn't have that history, I think they absolutely would.
Yeah, because if he didn't have the history, he'd be on the main roster right now tagging with Connor.
Probably.
They'd both be suspended for 30 days doing something.
Connor was suspended for 60.
I was just making an anecdote here, Sean. But speaking of 60, that suspension is up. You might be seeing him on a C show coming up. Superstars are main event here anytime now. So welcome back, Connor.
Victor's celebrated singles run is over. He did some okay work with singles.
That Jack Swagger match on Superstars either 2 or 3 weeks ago, whenever it was, they main evented Superstars and had one hell of a 10-minute little battle.
They did. I loved his face paint I can't remember what week it was.
You did. You tweeted that. I think it was the day of that Superstar show coming out. And a screen cap was going all over the place. You tweeted about how it was the coolest face paint you've ever seen. And maybe that's so. I am anti-face paint. I hate it. I
liked it.
There has never been face paint that I have liked. I have never had face paint on my person. I am anti-face paint. Do not come at me with that crap.
It's better than Andrade Almas's suspenders.
No, it's not.
Oh, hell yeah, it is.
All day. I will go in public with those suspenders before having to be privately painting my face.
What did you think of the Authors of Pain tonight on NXT? By the way, your boy, Tino Sabatelli, his brother got run over by the Authors of Pain.
Yeah. Authors of Pain. They're interesting. I'll give them time. Right now, they're what a 3-minute warning was at the start, right? They're just guys who are going to go out and beat everyone. So we'll see if we can get Numaga out of this. That's
I like the side slam big boot they do a lot more than the Russian leg sweep clothesline they use for a finish.
I'm willing to get them some slack. I don't think you can figure out what they're going to be after 1 week, because God, if we criticized what Bailey was going to be after 1 week,
true.
It's developmental for these guys. This is their first time on television. This is I think they're young as far as pro wrestlers. They've only been around for maybe a year, maybe not even.
Silmani just entertained the idea of being a wrestler in the past year because he was fighting MMA.
Right. That's right.
Very recently.
Their rise to being on television has been pretty quick, and it's been not what you usually see from NXT. It takes them a long time. Like, how long has Tito Sabatelli been there? It's been a good minute, and he's not even making TV yet.
We have Blake and Murphy against TM61. They keep teasing the Blake and Murphy split. I think it was Blake. Kind of looks like he's getting a little out of shape. Was he the one that had the knee surgery?
He's the one who had the knee, injured knee. So maybe it's
That's
just
understandable.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, hopefully he can get back into it. Big Cass is one. Big Cass going back to when he first started in FCW. This was the guy who changed body types like 3 different times. He would be super shredded, then he would get kind of soft, then he would get super shredded again. Now he's kind of in that middle area.
Soft.
He got soft. I mean, there's not a lot of definition. Look at Big Cass around 2012, 2013. He was soft, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Would you say he was SAWFT?
Oh, yeah. What is wrong with me tonight? I'm
really
soft for Big Cass, and I didn't even realize what I was doing.
Keep in mind,
I didn't know what I was doing there, bro.
I'm the one who covered NXT. My power went out, and I rushed to drive half an hour away.
Right.
Get all my stuff set up in this thing.
Yeah.
And you're the one. I didn't even take any Alpha Brain today. I'm not even. You know what? I didn't even take any brain supplements today. They don't pay us anymore, so I'm not bringing them up. But
you didn't. Yeah. You didn't take your 5-hour energy? I don't know.
Speaking of people who didn't take their brain supplements today, as if WWE didn't learn their lesson, they put Ty Dillinger against Almas again.
That when we saw the taping results, I think I was tweeting with people and I was talking about it on my show. I could not believe that, because we were talking about the NXT Takeover post show, how we could not believe that after the fact, it was probably not a good idea that Ty Dillinger was in the ring there. Like, Ty Dillinger seems like the perfect guy on paper that you would want. But based on crowd reaction and based on what you're trying to do with Almas, after the fact, in hindsight, he probably wasn't the best person to do it with. So what do? They put him in the ring with Almas again on television with the same crowd who's going to be even more in favor of Ty Dillinger, because we're like, we love you, Ty. And the system is pushing this Almas guy, but we want you. We want you. We don't know this Almas guy. We want you, Ty Dillinger. And they did not learn their lesson. And what's even worse is they had to retape part of the match. So they actually put Ty Dillinger and Almas in front of the crowd twice.
So it was like, 3 times in 2 days, basically?
Oh, my God. I just couldn't. And most of the time, the same people that are at the takeover are also at the taping the next day. It's the same crowd. It's literally the exact same crowd. And this crowd wanted to cheer for Ty Dillinger, and you just made the air. Why not put someone who's either not on television at all, like a Hugo Knox, or put someone that they don't like? Put Alexander Wolf in there with La Sombra. Why not? It screams weird to me.
Do you think that he recovers from this on the live events and the subsequent tapings?
Yeah.
Do you think that he will get a positive reaction?
Well, what the reaction is on television usually means a lot. It's not always everything, but especially if you're going to a house show and you don't know who he is, and now the only chance you've gotten to see of Almas is him not getting a huge reaction on television. You may be skeptical yourself once you go see him live. I think he'll be okay. I think he'll recover. It's very possible that at some point they turn him into a bad guy, like early, just to kind of.
I almost want him to be that Anderson Silva type, where he's so good and like where he does the thing where he catches himself in the ropes, like it's like a smug asshole type of thing, instead of a hey, I'm a babyface type of thing.
Right?
How can you be a babyface and wear suspenders?
That's I'm with you.
Have any baby faces worn suspenders?
Were the Godwins baby faces?
They don't count. Overalls.
Kind of overalls. Yeah, they were. Yeah, they weren't suspenders, were they?
IRS wore suspenders. Didn't Jimmy Garvin wear them?
Yeah. I don't know. Did The Rock ever wear suspenders?
I think technically that thing that he had attached to his body was suspenders, but I don't know.
I was trying to think that at some point it was kind of suspender-ish. It was suspender-ish, I say.
Yeah. We have Carmella defeating Tessa Blanchard. If Carmella can put it together in the ring, she's going to be something really good.
She's going to be fine. And you saw it on Breaking Ground. You see it on everything she's ever in backstage. The girl's motivated. She's going to be more than okay. They're all motivated.
I'm excited. I'm a fan. I like Carmella.
I like Carmella. I like Carmella a lot. They are going to have one hell of a women's division renaissance there in about a year if all of them stay in NXT with Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax and Bailey might still be down there at this point. They're going to have one hell of a division depending on who stays and who goes up. They are putting it together there. And there's more coming down the pike too. You got Nikki Storm who's doing her live events. Bobby Roode, I don't know why I'm going on this one now. Bobby Roode was debuting on the live events over there in Europe, but they're going to have one hell of a women's division. It's going to be something to watch. Again,
she has officially named her finish the Code of Silence, which was the name of Vito's old finish.
Was it really?
Yeah, that spinning DDT. I think it was the Code of Silence. I'm going to look it up.
It might have.
I know one thing. I stole that from my indie shows, though.
Of course. Was it his finish, the name of his finish in WWE or WCW? Because I feel like it was something else in WCW.
Yeah, it was WWE. I'm going to look and make sure. Crazy to think Vito is 51 years old. 52 this week.
No, he was old when he was signed by WWE. I remember the whole thing. Like, why are we signing Big Vito at this point? Yeah. Like, what positives are there by signing Big Vito? And then they get sued by him. And like, well, you brought it upon yourself, guys.
Yeah, his spinning DDT in WWE was called the Code of Silence. He used a Kimura with his opponent's head up his dress.
Yeah, the Kimura was the big thing. Yeah. Is my just for the audio portion of the show, Sean, is my mic too close? Do I need to move it? Do I need to be a couple feet away?
Did you see that comment? Obviously you did. And somebody harassed you and said, why does Rob keep his mic near his face? They are designed to be used 3 or 4 feet away, and they said that they were a sound person. No disrespect to you, guy, but my mic is also very close to me. You just can't see it. But this is 2 feet away. How do I sound, Rob?
You don't sound very good, Sean.
You don't sound very good either from 2 or 3 feet away.
So should I move a little closer?
Yeah, we should probably move a little closer.
Okay. Yeah, how's Raj going to like that? Hey, guys.
Don't tell us how to do our jobs.
For part of your show, guys, we couldn't hear you. Why were you standing so far away from your microphones? Especially this one that I'm using right now. And then they called me fancy, which I appreciate. I want to, leave comments in the videos, whether they're good or bad. We'll respond, and we appreciate you guys for listening, obviously, and watching on the YouTube channel and wrestlinginc.com. But yes, these mics are designed. If I was in a soundproof booth, you would want to be usually about 7 inches away. You want to be able to do this little, if you were born in the 80s in Hawaii, you would know what this is. You want to be this far away. If you're in a soundproof booth, I am not in a soundproof booth. So I turn the gain down and I bring my mouth closer so that there's no awkward like echoing and tin can sound, and then I'm close to the microphone. But I don't. I'm just adding to the list, Sean, of things that I don't know about. We got MMA, we got wrestling, and we got audio. So this is a great combination for doing the show.
And it's funny because when a certain somebody kind of crapped the bed on this podcast and I found a replacement, the two reasons that
shots fired.
Well, they crapped on our sponsors. Dude's a good writer, but he crapped on our sponsors. That's unacceptable. But when I looked for somebody, you were the first person that came to mind because I thought that you knew audio and wrestling.
I fooled you. I
guess I'm the asshole.
I got you. I saw a comment yesterday that I wasn't lively enough, and I'm not trying to like overcompensate.
Gosh.
I think I've just had a lot of caffeine tonight.
Okay, well, let's be real. You're replacing Vince Russo.
Let's be real, Sean. Let's be. Oh,
actually, you're not supposed to say that either.
Let's be real.
We're gonna drive away all of our viewers.
I love the comments. You're not offending me. I love the comments. Keep commenting. I do. I really do. I tell Sean via the DMs that I'm gonna kill these bastards. No, I don't. I say I love you. I hope that you are still. The best thing would be, Sean, is that all these negative comments, if now they're watching me talk about their negative comments, because they all said they weren't watching anymore. So the only way they're going to know that I'm even talking about them is if they're still watching. And if they are, thanks for coming back and giving me another shot. I appreciate it.
My favorite is when people come on and they'll be like, no more Russo, not watching. These people don't have anything to do with the business. How dare you? I body slammed Andre the Giant in front of 93,000 people at the Pontiac Silverdome. Rob sold out the Sky Dome against Hulk Hogan, unifying the Intercontinental and WWF Championship in 1990.
Here's
you want to
problem.
say we're not experienced?
Yeah. I didn't do that, but I did sell out the ECW arena, and that's a true story. And I was drop kicked once by Chuck Taylor in a match with Miss Mickey Knuckles. And to bring it all around full circle, guess who did a dark match at TNA last night? Miss Mickey Knuckles.
That's true.
Yeah, look at how I converted that story.
Not looking in great shape, by the way.
Moose
I saw, you know what, buddy? I sold out the Aberdeen River Park. 250 rabid fans.
Let me tell you,
coming to see this guy.
Let me tell you, when I was backstage at Plainfield, Indiana, when I was refereeing for AJ Styles versus Joker, and I
just need a name drop the whole time.
I'm not even name dropping. This is my story. It's a true story. AJ and I and Joker, of course, we're backstage talking like, AJ, you're in IWA Mid-South right now. TNA, they let you do the indies. What's your goal in wrestling? And he turns to me and he says, well, Daddy, one day I want to work Sean Star Sapp in the Aberdeen Plainfield Garden Terror Dome or whatever the hell it was called. And I was like, AJ, trust me, you're not there yet. You're not there yet.
Also, there are people saying that I was talking about Russo crapping on the sponsors. It was not Russo. It was another co-host that did that. Russo, Vince would never ever do that. He understands the importance of.
Yeah, Vince is a smart. Excuse me. He's a smart. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
He's a smart guy, but also, I felt like the best part of the show for Vince was not talking about wrestling, but was waiting to see how you incorporated the sponsors into the show.
Oh, absolutely.
I was actually excited about that.
Vince was fantastic with the segues and stuff. So yeah, definitely not Vince.
And you got us Monday, man. I got to tell you, I'm still. I went to sleep dreaming about how great your segues were on Monday. I couldn't. I wish I could be that cool. I can't be that cool.
Well, I mean, you went to sleep dreaming. You probably lost some sleep over it, but it's a good thing you can wake up and stretch out by using ddpyoga.com/wrestling inc. That's right, guys. You wake up, you got a stiff back. They've got a wake up program on ddpyoga.com/wrestling inc. You got all kinds of programs on there. You familiarize yourself with that dime dozen, and you will get in the best shape of your lives. I personally have gotten in great shape using DDP Yoga. The best shape I've been in since probably when I trained MMA full-time like 6 years ago. ddpyoga.com/wrestling Inc. helped me. It helped John Cena recover from injury. It's helping Sami Zayn. Helped Mick Foley lose like 70 pounds. And if you get ddpyoga.com/wrestling Inc. now, you can get 3 free months of the DDP Yoga Now app. If you travel, you're on the road, you want to work out, the DDP Yoga Now app is the way to do it. And you can see how it helped out Jake the Snake Roberts in the resurrection of Jake the Snake, now available on Netflix, Blu-ray, DVD, video on demand everywhere. 5-star reviews on Netflix. You got to check it out, guys. Damn.
That was good. That was good. I would like, before we get into our next topic, I don't even know if we finished NXT. I don't believe we did.
We didn't. We didn't. Bailey's coming back soon.
Who's coming back?
Bailey.
Baylor's coming back. That's right, because Nia Jax injured her, so we're most likely going to see her go up against Nia Jax to eventually get the shot with Asuka. So Takeover Brooklyn begins to take shape, and this Takeover Brooklyn card has all the potential, depending on where they go. But you kind of see where they're going with the tag team scene. You kind of see where they're going with Bayley. It looks like we might get Shinsuke Nakamura and Finn Balor in a match somewhere down the line. They got a couple of TV tapings to go, so depending on what happens with this draft, maybe we see it on TV, maybe we see it on TakeOver. But I got to assume it's going to be on TakeOver, and holy crap, this TakeOver Brooklyn card is stacking up to be unbelievable.
Yeah, we had the Nakamura Balor face-to-face thing, and Nakamura, for his limitations with the English language, I thought he did damn good.
Yeah, he speaks better English than I do, Sean.
He said, Finn Balor, you're an icon, and if I want to become NXT champion, I have to be an icon, and to be an icon, I need to beat you. And he had the crowd in the palm of his hands. People were chanting match of the year. I don't know if it'll be that, but I'm looking forward to it.
Oh man, I think they're going to try really hard to do it, but Finn Balor is in the in-ring category of Austin Aries to me. He's not at that top level with the Sami Zayns, with the Nevilles and whatnot. He's really good, but he's better to me as a character, which is why I'm still really waiting to see, him develop a super character on NXT, and it might take a heel turn to do that. It's going to be really good, and it's not going to be the main event, right? Because the main event is most likely going to be whatever Samoa Joe's doing, so they can go in there in the middle of the show and blow the roof off.
Joe versus the Drifter, right?
I'm hoping, but with Drifter's
injury,
I don't know if he can get back in time with the Drifter's injury. I'm hoping. You know what? I went back actually, and I watched some of the best Drifter matches in NXT on the WWE Network over the course of the day. And once my 10 minutes were up, I moved on. But the Drifter, I really do miss him. I miss the Drifter.
Somebody says Sean hates Finn. No, I think that he could vary it up a little more in his matches. Drop kick, enziguri, front drop kick, stomp.
I don't hate Finn. I love Finn. Finn's great.
Yeah, he'll
ring.
He'll do a flip over the top and a sling blade on occasion. I just think he should just switch it up a little more. He's more than capable of doing it, and I've seen him do it before.
Yeah, I mean, 5 minutes into a Finn Balor match, and you're wondering when does it end. You really are. That's what I do. Yeah. And I'm really excited for the matches beforehand. I like Finn Balor, of course, but you get a little tired of the Finn Balor matches sometimes. What's Samoa Joe going to do? What is Samoa Joe going to do at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn? Here we are, still 2 months out. What's Samoa Joe got cooking?
So I don't know.
I mean, you got Bobby Roode. You got Bobby Roode sitting.
I think it'll be Nakamura. I really do. I think they'll do the Balor thing on TV.
Okay. Yeah. No, that could be it, because Nakamura.
Because I don't think they wait 2.5 months to do that match.
Yeah, no, I don't think they could. And because it's not for a title, you can't do the match that has some type of false ending with interference or anything and then do it again. So you may be right. You may be seeing Nakamura and Finn Balor on TV, and that could be a really big win for Nakamura too. Say Finn Balor is going to go up to the main roster, or maybe Nakamura is going to go up to the main roster. Whoever's not going up can get a big win by pinning the other. So that could be a really fun match, and that's a takeover type matchup for sure happening on free TV. You don't see that a lot at all. You either see squashes, or when you do see talents that are kind of even, you end up getting some type of interference or some type of storyline going on. You don't get a Balor Nakamura level match on TV as a first time ever match, like ever nowadays.
Yeah, and I think that's maybe something they need to put on just an episode of NXT. I mean, what's it going to hurt?
Freshen it up. And
yeah,
you could be right, because one of these guys might be going up to the main roster. Maybe both of them are. It certainly couldn't hurt.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see what putting this as a main event, build it up.
Yeah.
Put it as a main event on an episode of NXT. They did it with Joe and Zayn, and they made it last the entire hour. Somebody says Samoa Joe needs to go to the main roster as long as he isn't fed to Cena or Reigns. I think if Joe goes up to the main roster, he doesn't need to be beat by anybody until, he meets maybe like a Brock Lesnar or somebody like that, because that's a big time match they could do if they built him right.
Build him right.
So we have a Ring of Honor pay-per-view coming up, but it's not coming up yet, so we won't necessarily preview it, but something Ring of Honor hasn't necessarily done as much. If you've been to their YouTube, they've been posting all kinds of promos. Good. Like vignettes, and I love it.
Good.
You got a guy like Silas Young. You can't get that guy enough mic time. You can't get a guy with a real gimmick enough mic time. They had a cool little thing where Steve Corino came after Adam Page backstage for joining the Bullet Club, because why wouldn't he?
Right.
They made sense of it. I love that they're doing this. I encourage you all to check them out. So something I wanted to talk about from the live events, I thought a major upset that I was pleased with, the Beer City Bruiser and Silas Young are getting a tag title shot, Rob.
Good. Get some new teams in there. It's been the same same 3 or 4 teams for the last 2 years. Get some new teams in there. You got to build some of the non-New Japan guys. You've been seeing the Young Bucks in there. You've been seeing Red Dragon in there. You've been seeing War Machine and the Briscoes. It is time for some new teams in there. So why not build up for at least one tag title run? Not even a run. Don't win the championships even. You don't have to. Just put them in the match. Put the Beer City Bruiser and Silas Young in there. Why not? Silas Young has more than earned any type of push he's been getting. He's been great. He's been fantastic. And it's crazy to think, because this guy 10 years ago was really good, but not getting his fair shake. He would do Ring of Honor undercards here and there. He was working in the Midwest a lot, but it's not like he was blowing the place up, and he was in much better shape then. This guy has, basically come up with a character that works. It fits what he looks like too. It's not a guy who's playing another character. You can envision him being done with wrestling, going home and being the exact same guy. And it's working super well. I love me some Silas Young.
King of Indie Style said, I need to comment this. Spoiler alert. A Mike Bennett Maria versus Dixie power struggle angle is everything I hate about TNA. Hell yeah, man. Me too. Dixie needs to be off TV. People in the company have told me that they want Dixie off TV. She just won't do it. She's too proud. How dumb do you think she feels right now that she rejected a rumored offer from Spike TV a couple of years ago for a very small minority stake in the company, which would have kept her on TV or kept her program on TV virtually forever. And now you can't move it to anybody outside of the company, apparently.
Yeah, it's her vanity promotion at this point. I don't think she's really trying to save it as much as she is just trying to save a place for her on television. That's what it seems like the motivation is to me. It's been that way for a long time. I don't really think she cares too much about TNA itself. She cares about having a place for her to be a star.
Somebody says early Tommy Dreamer wore suspenders, and another person said high energy. Bad examples, guys.
Bad examples, a little bit.
For over baby faces.
They were high voltage. High voltage.
No. High energy. Coco Beware and Owen Hart. Did High Voltage also wear suspenders?
Oh, I guess. Well, no, I guess they didn't. Did they? No. I'm thinking High Energy. You're right. High Energy did.
Yeah.
I was
thinking not Kenny Chaos and Robbie Rage.
Kenny Chaos and Robbie. They looked like suspenders on them because they were the tights with the straps, but the straps were so skinny. Like it wasn't the Kurt Angle type singlet. It was the skinny top there. High Voltage, Kenny Chaos, Robbie Rage. Good times on Saturday night when I was like 12 years old, watching High Voltage in action against the Steiners every week.
So before we go, I did want to talk about, Roderick Strong, Moose. You think they're on their way out? Roderick Strong's facing Mark Briscoe at this Best in the World show.
Yeah, Moose.
Moose and Roppongi Vice against ACH and War Machine. What you said? You think Moose is gone? Do you think Roderick Strong is gone?
I don't know about Roderick Strong. Honestly, I really don't know. Part of it to him, I really do believe that if he's having fun doing what he's doing and making an okay living, I think he'll stay. But there's always that aura of being, he's in Florida. He can go work those shows, be a star on the NXT brand if it's a lighter roster after these call-ups. I think the lure is there for sure. As far as Moose, yeah, I think Moose is gone. I think he's going to get pinned any chance they have of pinning him. I don't see him sticking around to Ring of Honor. And if he does stick around to Ring of Honor, he's making a lot of enemies as far as the way he's acting behind the scenes. I can tell you that right now. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think Moose is gone, and I think Moose has a chance to be a heavily pushed guy there in NXT.
I have a bone to pick with a reader who says if you lose a spot on Spike TV, you don't deserve TV time. Spike TV sucks. You go to hell. How dare you?
Spike TV made UFC what it is today.
Yes, Spike TV was host to UFC, WWE, The Great Slam Ball, MXC. What other great shows? The Joe Schmo Show. That was a great show its first season.
Joe Schmo Show. I will watch some Bar Rescue every once in a while.
Pros versus Joes.
Pros versus Joes. The XFL. Was it? No, they were still TNA.
No. They did the Arena Football League for a little while.
That's right. They were, but they made, I'm not saying they just hosted UFC. Spike TV made UFC. It was a very big in making UFC. So does it suck now? I mean, I'm not going to lie and say I watched.
Yes, it does suck now.
I don't watch it all the time right now, but I wouldn't be opposed to watching some Bar Rescue every once in a while.
It absolutely sucks now, but I mean, we're talking like, okay, guys, back in its prime, catch reruns of American Gladiators.
That's right, dog.
MXC was great.
Yeah, Most Extreme Challenge up in here.
It was good.
Up in here, it was great.
Robot Wars.
Can we?
I know you remember Robot.
Good. In the Ring of Honor realm, coming to North Carolina in a ring near you, Ring of Honor, Jay White versus Kama has been signed.
Well, Jay White in general coming to Ring of Honor. That's
Jay White in general, but right off the bat, putting him up there with Kama Itachi, which, a year ago it would have been a Young Lions match in New Japan, an opener of a show. Who cares? But here, you get Jay White, who's a year and a half now into his New Japan run. Kama Itachi, who's lighting up the indies and finally getting a push here in Ring of Honor. That's going to be a hell of a match. I think they're loading up Jay White quickly. As long as he works regularly in Ring of Honor, and I can't imagine they won't use him, Jay White is going to be something special in pro wrestling over the next 5 years.
World's Wildest Police Videos was also on Spike TV. I agree with you, by the way.
Yeah. All I have to say on that note, New Japan Dominion is Sunday. Go watch it. It's $9, and you can go watch New Japan Dominion as well as maybe watch the Best of the Super Juniors that traveled over the last couple of weeks. They're having their
I will watch it. I will watch it because I don't know how to cancel my subscription, and I forgot my password.
You know how to cancel it. What you do to cancel it is you cancel your credit card.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Emails every once in a while saying, "Hey, we couldn't take your payment."
Also, I forgot my password. That makes it very difficult.
You gotta have the Mac gimmick that saves all your passwords in your Safari. That's what you got to do. I don't know any of my passwords. Thankfully, I just keep having a Mac. So
I don't trust internet trolls. I just know that one day an AJ6711 or a Bryce Gaskin or a WA Kelly might suspend from my ceiling, Mission Impossible style, and hack my shit.
Sean is shooting.
Hack my shit. And I don't trust
Don't hack me. Hack Sean. Leave my Twitter handle at Shake Them Ropes alone. Just hack at Sean Starsap.
But yeah, we'll talk about the Dominion show before we go. Elgin replaced Tanahashi, who is hurt pretty damn bad. How do you think that match is going to be? That ladder match with Omega with Elgin. I could see him doing some pretty cool spots with the ladder, like some strength spots.
No, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Like, I think that's the match I'm looking most forward to, honestly. You got Kushida versus Will Ospreay on this show, and I'm looking most forward to the first ever ladder match with Kenny Omega and Michael Elgin, because those two work really well together in PWG, and they've been around the block. They're both Canadians who have been wrestling each other for a while. That match is going to be absolutely fantastic, and you want to watch Michael Elgin go in there, who wasn't even supposed to be in this match, and he's got to continue to prove that he does belong, not only in the Intercontinental title picture, but as a guy you can trust and put in these big matches solo on pay-per-view. And then you have Kenny Omega, who wants to, make history by having the first ladder match in New Japan and just completely crush it. That's your semi-main event. Tetsuya Naito against Kazuchika Okada, your main event for the IWGP Championship. I don't think Okada wins it back, but I wouldn't be surprised. This is the summer of Naito. We had the summer of CM Punk twice. We are right now having the summer of Naito. And then you got Kushida and Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay, who has had an absolute breakout month with the best.
Kushida may be my favorite worker in the world.
And then you got people who love Kushida. I know one of my co-writers, Rich Craich, he loves Kushida. He's written about Kushida, loves him absolutely. Alex Shelley gushes on Twitter every single week about how great Kushida is.
I'm a big Billy Robinson guy, and he was a double wrist lock guy. So when I see a guy like Kushida use that move to perfection, damn, it makes me happy.
Yeah, a lot of Kushida fans. So those are just 3 amazing matches on the show, and then you got even more. Evil making his big push as a single.
I'm sure Bullet Club's going to run over the New Japan or the Captain New Japan, Toge Makabe, and Yoshitatsu, but. Do the Briscoe brothers stand any chance of winning the IWGP Tag Team Championships from Guerrillas of Destiny?
Yes, they do.
They do.
Yes, they do. They have a chance.
I'm legitimately asking you because you're a little more plugged in than I am.
They do have a chance to win them. Not the biggest chance ever, but they do have a chance to actually win those championships. And if they do, it's probably something where they're going to lose them right quick, maybe defend them at Ring of Honor. This is all part of the symbiotic relationship with Ring of Honor. You can have the Briscoes go into some of these summer ROH shows defending those belts while Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga are doing the G1, because they won't be doing a lot of tag team matches over this G1 tour. They'll be, most likely both of those guys will be in the actual G1 tournament. So you can have your tag team championships defended regularly while your Bullet Club, Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga are working all of their singles matches. And then you can do the rematch at the G1 final. So there is a possibility that the Briscoes could win these titles. I don't think it's super likely, but if they do win, you shouldn't be too shocked.
Evil versus Hiroki Goto. We'll touch on this just really quickly. Evil has impressed me of late. He's improving quickly. I like that. Also, Chaos against, I can't pronounce it.
What's up?
Los Ingobernables.
Los Ingobernables.
There we go.
Ingobernables, which is fine.
The Gobernables.
Ingobernables, Ingobernables, whatever you want to say it, people understand, but Ingobernables, that team. Seiya Sanada, we talk about TNA screwing things up. Seiya Sanada was in TNA. Kazuchika Okada was in TNA. Hiroshi Tanahashi was in TNA, and they actually gave him a couple of good matches and a win here and there because they realized Tanahashi was a star. But they had all this talent and did absolutely nothing with them. It's not like they were going to keep him. So you can understand the thinking. Like, Okada's only here for a year. Why are we going to push him? He's not going to, if we make him a star, he's not staying. So why are we pushing him? You can understand that kind of thinking. But at the same time, you got him for a year. Do the best you can with him. And they just absolutely did nothing. They made him a karate sidekick of Samoa Joe. But yes, the Ingobernables and Chaos war over the Best of the Super Juniors tour has been awesome. And I'm super excited for this match too, because it's not going to be your normal, 6-man tag that's on the undercard just because. This is a war that's been brewing, and it's faction versus faction.
It matters. Yeah.
Yeah, and it gets you ready for the main event of the show, because the main event is also Chaos, the leader of Chaos versus the leader of Los Ingobernables. So you have Naito and Okada battling not just for the championship, but for their respective factions.
Who do you think's winning the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag titles?
The Junior Heavyweight Tag titles, I think we're going to see a change here. Red Dragon's been protected their entire run. It's probably going to be the Young Bucks. I think it's going to be the Young Bucks, but I wouldn't be surprised if Red Dragon gets them back. I would absolutely expect Matt Sydal and Ricochet to lose.
And something that I wanted to touch on before we went, I don't know if you read this Boston Globe article. I got a little bit through it, but they're kind of criticizing Chris Nowinski for kind of being in bed with WWE again. Have you seen this?
I know of it, but I haven't read the entire article, so I don't really want to comment.
Triple H is on the board of his Sports Legacy Institute, and they kind of went after him. And we had this wonderful guy who always criticizes us for being a pro WWE website and not talking about this. It's not Chris Nowinski's obligation or duty to go after the WWE. He can, and he has in the past. But I think WWE has done a very good job in stepping up.
And you know this too. If you are a part of an organization like this, you can yell and scream from the outside that WWE isn't doing enough, and they will just, fight back and not do anything or whatever. You can yell and scream all you want, but if you actually want to make change, you have to make change from not necessarily the inside, but you want to have some type of partnership with WWE if you want the wrestlers to be safer, which is what the goal is. And I haven't read this article, so I don't know. But if your idea is to make sure that everyone is safer, you do want to have a relationship with WWE. You want to make sure that any, talking back and forth is cordial and it actually brings about change. So I can understand how that may seem like, oh, you're too friendly with them. But at the same time, you don't want to be yelling and screaming from the other side of the fence on an issue like this.
Couldn't agree more. Guys, we are back Sunday night, myself and Raj, after Money in the... But not you.
Sadly.
After Money in the Bank. Please go follow...
It's nice to watch.
Go follow Rob at Shake Them Ropes. Follow me at Sean Ross Sapp. Visit ddpyoga.com/wrestling inc. Guys, I want to thank you all for supporting us through the technical issues Monday and my power line issues tonight. Rob, anything you want to leave the people with?
No, a lot of good wrestling coming up on Sunday. Money in the Bank is Sunday.
You don't know anything about wrestling. You don't know anything about
our
wrestling.
Money in the Bank preview. Go watch the Monday show again and listen to the Monday show. We had the issues. Listen to the Monday show, but we did talk all about Money in the Bank. If there's a topic that you want us to address, hit us up on Twitter at Sean Ross Sapp or at Shake Them Ropes. We are more than happy to talk about the topics that you want us to talk about. Just
Hell yeah.
in the comment section afterwards and say, I can't believe you didn't talk about so-and-so. Just let us know what you want us to talk about beforehand, and we'll get to it.
We're here for you.
We're here
for the money I make off of this show. I'm also here for that.
And we're pro wrestling, not pro WWE. We're pro graps.
Pro sports entertainment as well. Guys, you still have your thumb up, don't you? No, you face palmed. Until next time, guys, we are out.